In a quiet village between green hills and an old stone bridge, there lived a carpenter named Thomas. His hands were rough from 50 years of work. He had built chairs, tables, doors, and cradles for nearly every family in the village. His small workshop sat beside the house he had built with his own hands when he was young. Thomas had one son named Victor. When Victor was a boy, he loved to watch his father carve wood. But as he grew older, he became restless. He married a woman named Clara, who had expensive tastes and little patience. Victor and Clara moved into Thomas's home. At first, things were peaceful, but slowly, the old man noticed changes. Clara complained about sawdust on the floor. Victor stopped greeting him in the mornings. They whispered in corners when they thought he could not hear. Thomas pretended not to notice. He continued his work. He woke early, swept his workshop, and carved small wooden birds. These little birds were his quiet joy. He had made hundreds over the years and given them to children in the village. One evening, Victor came to him with cold eyes. "Father," he said, "you are too old to work. The workshop takes too much space. We need it for storage." Thomas looked at his son. "This workshop is my life," he said softly. Victor crossed his arms. "Then perhaps it is time for you to find another place to live." The words cut deep. Thomas said nothing. He turned and walked to his room. That night, he could not sleep. He listened to the wind and thought of his late wife, Maria, who had always believed in kindness. She had told him once, "A man's worth is not in what he owns, but in what he gives." He held a small blue wooden bird in his hands. He had carved it for Maria many years ago. Its tiny wings were stretched open, as if ready to fly. The next morning, Thomas woke before sunrise. He packed a small bag with clothes, his best tools, and a little blue bird. He had saved some money over the years, hidden in a cloth pouch beneath the floor. He did not argue. He did not shout. He simply walked out the door. Victor and Clara watched from the window, but did not stop him. Thomas walked for many hours. His legs ached and his heart was heavy, but he kept moving. Each step carried him further from pain and closer to peace. By evening, he reached a small town by a river. He sat on a bench near the water, tired and hungry. A young boy approached him. "Sir, are you lost?" Thomas smiled gently. "No, child. I am just resting." The boy's name was Elias. He lived with his widowed mother in a small cottage nearby. When Elias told his mother about the old man by the river, she invited Thomas to share their meal. Her name was Anna. She was kind and spoke softly. She had lost her husband 2 years ago and worked long hours washing clothes for others. Life was not easy, but she never complained. Thomas thanked her for the food. "I do not wish to be a burden," he said. "I can work. I am a carpenter." Anna smiled warmly. "Then perhaps you can help fix our broken chairs." Thomas stayed. He fixed the chairs, then the table, then the leaking roof. Elias watched him closely, eager to learn. "Would you like me to teach you?" Thomas asked one afternoon. Elias nodded with bright eyes. "Yes, sir. Very much." And so Thomas began to teach the boy how to carve, how to measure, how to turn simple wood into something beautiful. Elias had gentle hands and a patient heart. Thomas saw in him the son he once hoped Victor would become. Weeks passed. Word spread in the town about the skilled carpenter. People came with orders for furniture. Thomas rented a small space and opened a modest workshop. He worked slowly, carefully, and never overcharged anyone. He carved wooden birds and gave them to children, just as he had always done. The townspeople respected him. They called him Old Thomas with warmth in their voices. Back in the village, Victor and Clara discovered too late what they had lost. The old man had not left empty. He had taken his tools, his skills, and his quiet dignity. They had kept the house, but they had lost something far greater. Without Thomas, the house grew cold. Furniture broke, and no one repaired it. Clara grew bitter. Victor stopped working. They sold the things Thomas had made, piece by piece. Within 2 years, they had nothing left but debt and regret. One day, Victor walked many miles searching for work. He entered a small town by a river. He saw a neat workshop with fine furniture displayed outside. People smiled as they walked past it. "Who owns this place?" Victor asked a shopkeeper. "Old Thomas," the man replied. "A good man. The whole town respects him." Victor's face went pale. He stood frozen for a long moment. Then he turned and walked away without a word, his shame too heavy to carry. Thomas lived for many more peaceful years. He never spoke of his son with anger. When Elias once asked about his family, Thomas only said, "Sometimes the family we are born into and the family we find are not the same. Both can be blessings in different ways." Before he passed, Thomas wrote a simple letter. He left his workshop, his tools, and his savings to Elias. He asked only one thing, that the boy continue to carve wooden birds and give them to children, as he had always done. At his funeral, the whole town came. Elias held the little blue bird and cried quietly. Anna placed her hand on his shoulder. "He gave you more than things," she whispered. "He gave you his heart. And so, dear friend, remember this. Walking away is not weakness. Sometimes it is the bravest thing you can do. Your worth is not measured by those who fail to see it. Your gifts belong to you. They follow you wherever you go. When one door closes with cruelty, another opens with kindness. Trust that life has space for you somewhere warm, somewhere good. Some people will only understand your value after you leave. That is not your loss, that is theirs. Choose dignity, choose peace, choose the courage to begin again. And always remember, you carry your own light within you.